Hi everyone. Because I work at two different schools, some of you know me as Caitlin and some of you know me as Miss Q. And it doesn't matter how you know me, I want to let you know that I am excited to work with you. Today I want to talk a little bit about noticing the feelings that we have in our bodies and really paying attention to where in our bodies we experience these different feelings. So I'm just going to use myself as an example to describe how I scan my whole body from my head all the way down to my feet to make note and pay attention to where my body might be feeling unsettled or nervous or any particular feeling that maybe is going to give me some more information that I can help clearly communicate to myself and others. So you are more than welcome to follow along with this body scan with me and just notice on yourself where you might be feeling something. I'm going to talk through what I notice as I move through my own body scan. So usually what I like to do is close my eyes to begin this process. The reason I like to close my eyes is because it helps me to realize that I can focus my attention on other things other than just what I'm looking at. I can, in my mind, I can imagine my attention moving all the way out to the tip of my elbow if I want to. Or I can imagine my attention coming up all the way to the top of my head. And so I'm just going to take a deep breath here. Bringing my attention up here to the top of my head. And what I'm going to imagine is that there's just this little kind of scanner, this safe just for me scanner that just is bringing my attention down around my head and my face. I'm not notice anything. Nothing's really jumping out at me there. My throat. Ooh, but when I get right here to my heart space, to my chest, I notice that it's feeling pretty fast. And kind of like if I had to use my hands to describe how it would feel kind of like all over the place. Like, ooh, maybe there's a lot of unsettling that might be happening there. But right now, as I'm doing the body scan, I'm not making a judgment of whether or not the unsettled feeling or my fast heart rate, whether those are good or bad feelings. I'm just noticing, just taking note, and I'm going to continue on with my body scan down. When I get to my stomach, I feel, if I wanted to show you with my body, I feel kind of like this. It feels like it's tight and a little bit maybe, I would say kind of all tangled and jumbled, and maybe like you could say in knots. Maybe that's because I'm a little bit nervous being on video. So I'm just gonna notice. I'm not gonna decide whether or not that's good or bad. I'm just gonna notice and keep going with my body scan. Now, because you can't see the rest of my body, I'm just gonna let you know that I'm bringing my attention down past my thighs and my knees and my legs. They're a little sore because I've been doing lots of workouts lately. And I think about them coming down underneath my feet and going up around to the back side of my body. So I can start to bring my scanner up the back side of my legs, up the back side of my back, and see if I notice anything else that just kind of is like my body talking to me, just giving me some information about what's going on there. So now that I've scanned my whole body all the way down, around under my feet, and all the way back up, if you didn't really get a chance to do that right now, if you want to pause the video, you are more than welcome to pause and do your own body scan before we move on to talk about what we can do with this information. If you're ready to keep going with me now, let's talk about what we do with this information now that I know my heart space, my chest is doing this, and my stomach is doing this. What can I do about it? Well, since we've been in school, I've been thinking a lot about this question. And for me, when I don't know what to do, sometimes I just turn towards nature and I think maybe there are some answers of ways that different animals and different creatures, maybe they have some ideas about how they settle their bodies that might work for me as well. So the creature or the animal that's been really so helpful to me lately has been a sea anemone. Now, if you're not sure what a sea anemone is, it's a really awesome thing to study and research. But you can imagine it being kind of like a blob that has all of these tentacles that kind of move and sway and flow with the ocean. When the ocean waves go in one way, the tentacles move with that wave. And they have this very peaceful quality to me. And so when I imagine if my body was a sea anemone, my tentacles around my heart would be all over the place like this. They would not be moving in the same direction. And my tentacles in my stomach area would be moving around in this kind of tight, twisted, tense space. And so thinking like a sea anemone, maybe even pretending to be a sea anemone, I can imagine the movement from this all over the place to a really calm, focused movement that really helps my body feel settled. Already, just by pretending that I am a sea anemone feeling the waves of the ocean, I notice that those places where my body felt really tight or tense or overwhelmed, they're starting to relax. They're starting to calm down. And so what I realize is that I can use the wisdom of animals to help me recognize what's happening in my own body and communicate that with other people. So for me, the sea anemone is a perfect example because I love all of the tentacles, and I love that some of my tentacles might feel really calm, but some of my other tentacles might need something. Maybe they need that flow of the ocean. Maybe they need some fresh air. Maybe they just need to move around and be all crazy and listen to crazy music because that's how I notice that my body is feeling. When we can look to animals and nature for answers about how we can understand what's going on in our own bodies and how we can share that with other people, we have more tools in our toolbox to help make ourselves more settled when we need to be able to settle. So if you really like this idea, what I encourage you to do now, if you've already done the body scan, wonderful. If you haven't yet, I suggest you give trying the body scan a try and really just see what comes up. Remember that what's really important is that we're not judging what comes up. When I got to my heart, I'm not all of a sudden saying, oh no, I'm feeling so nervous and scared. Instead, I'm just noticing, wow, my heart is racing really fast. Okay, I'm making note of that. And then I'm going to look towards nature. I'm going to see what other animals might help me calm my body down. I've been doing a lot of animal pretend play because I have a 3-year-old named Rainer at home, and we have been doing all kinds of playing with animals. So this week I want to talk to you about sea anemones, but I'm so curious if you discover that there are other animals that help to calm you down, if there are other forces of nature that help to calm you down. Sometimes I like to imagine that I am the wind. And sometimes the wind blows really strong and forcefully, and sometimes the wind is very calm and washes away everything that I don't need anymore. So for this week, I want you to try a body scan, and I want you to try just experimenting with how you can put different animals or forces of nature into your body and how that might help you to feel calm and settled. Already, I feel so much better by just talking about these things and imagining all of you getting silly and creative and figuring out different ways to notice what's going on in your body and then to use nature as a tool to help calm it down. I have so many more ideas I want to share with you, and I can't wait to keep playing and imagining in this way. If you would like, you are more than welcome to leave a comment wherever this video is showing up for you, and I will do my best to connect with you in this way. I hope you have so much fun playing and being silly, and I will see you next time.